One of the biggest names in the sport there, female fighters in the world of mixed martial arts are nothing new. Make no mistake, though, it's still a man's world. But for one woman, that wasn't a reason to stay away. Swayze Valentine, the sport's first cut woman as opposed to cut man, now works at the highest level of mixed martial arts, UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championship. We met up with her at a UFC gym in White Plains, New York. Swayze Valentine is used to being the lone female in a profession dominated by men.
Gosh, I've been through a lot. I've dealt with assault, physical assault inside the cage by one of the coaches in front of hundreds of people.
Did you ever find out why?
It was because I was a woman. They'll go right behind my back and be like, we don't want her, we don't want her.
How do you handle it?
I think to myself, I'm not gonna let anyone make me feel like I don't deserve to be here. Bottom line.
Here is the UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Looks for the choke.
The elite in mixed martial arts. 4.5 years ago, Swayze became the promotion's first female cutman. When did you get the call from UFC?
Oh, I know the day. It was February 22nd, 2014.
Right.
That was incredible. You can't get any higher than that. And the fact that I made it there after everything that I've been through, I was so thankful that they decided to take a chance on me.
Her job as a cutwoman is to protect a fighter's hands before a bout, then to stop any bleeding once it's underway.
I have 45 seconds or less to get that fighter to the next round. Because if for any reason the doctor comes in and calls it and says, hey, he's not good enough to fight or she's not good enough to fight,
right,
it's on me. Is she gonna mess up? Is she not gonna mess up?
Did she not fix that cut because it's a she and not a he?
Very possible.
When Swayze decided she had to be a part of MMA, she knew she'd have to break down some gender stereotypes. So you decided you need to have this as part of your life. What did you do?
So after that show, I went down, I found someone. I'm like, hey, I really want to do something with your show. You know, what can I do? He took a look at me and goes, why don't you be a ring girl?
You did a couple days as a ring girl.
Right.
And thought what when you were out there in front of the crowd?
It was not for me. It was not for me. I mean, that was too little clothes to be in front of that many people. I couldn't do it.
But it was there in the cage that Swayze found what she could do.
That's where I saw like all the fighters and the coaches, and the fighters are getting their hands wrapped. And I'm like, you know what? There's no greater honor in this sport than to be the person to wrap that fighter's hands.
So we're going to be going into the MMA wrap.
Knowing the what, but not the how, Swayze Googled MMA hand wraps and found videos from legendary cutman Jacob Stitch Duran.
That's the knockout wrap. How's it feel, brother?
So I started watching them, and I'm like, okay, I would practice on myself. And when I got a little confident, I found a local gym, and I just drove out there every day and just asked, hey, can I wrap your fighters' hands for their sparring sessions?
And how do you get them to trust you to do this?
That was pretty hard. I just knew what my goal was, and I just kept practicing, and every day that I drive to the gym, I'm like repeating my hand, okay, 4 over the knuckles, 4 over the wrist, 2 over the thumb.
From determined to confident, Swayze slowly started building her career in the amateur ranks, adding gyms and fighters, all while balancing 2 kids as a single mom.
It took a lot of years, a lot of free time. This definitely isn't a job that you do for the money. I worked a lot of years for free. I was thinking, okay, where can I go to really expand? And I thought, Las Vegas, it's the fight capital of the world.
But getting there from Washington State wasn't cheap.
I didn't have a lot of money, so I donated my blood or my plasma, and I got money, and I drove 8 hours.
You were donating blood and plasma so you could afford to go do this thing that wasn't going to make you a lot of money anyway. Why?
I don't have an answer for what drove me to do it. I just had this deep burning gut desire of like, it's gonna work out, just keep going, just keep going.
Swayze's gut was right. All that sacrifice paid off when she got that first call from the UFC. Can you explain what it's like during a fight?
Oh!
It's really actually indescribable. I'm excited, I'm nervous. I get most comfortable when I finally sit down and I get my sheet and it shows who I'm gonna wrap, and then I go in there, and when I meet the fighter, I shake everyone's hand, and that like totally brings me down.
The bigger stage for Swayze is still not enough to pay the bills, so she works at her local post office 6 days a week. Comp and vacation time allows her to take off for UFC matches. Do all your fellow employees know what you do in your spare time?
They do.
What do they think?
They love it. On the outside, they're just like, oh my gosh, it's so dangerous. Like, are you okay? Are you safe? And I'm like, absolutely. So they're super proud of me, and they love hearing like, what my next show? How did it go? So they're super supportive.
And that support is something Swayze passes along simply by being that lone female face. What message do you have to some little girl who sees you out there that says, well, there's only one? I don't know if I could do that.
Well, now I know, after being the first, that there are many more women following my path already. And I just hope that any little girl that sees that just shows that, hey, you can achieve your dreams, whether it's you're the first or the 15th or the 30th. You do what you want to do and love every second of it.
Swayze's next UFC event is on November 17th in Argentina, and there were some men along the way, cutmen, that sort of took her under the wing and taught her tricks of the trade that you had to know to do it. But that was just determination that got her there.
You know she loves it. 6 days a week and still the smile on her face from ear to ear.
It is a job that doesn't pay man or woman.
You want a definition for passion, see Swayze Valentine.
And there it is.